And welcome back, everyone, to part 4 of What If Gaara Was Raised in the Leaf. Last time we had the Demon of the Mist challenge the Demon of the Sand, pretty much. Not really, he mostly fought Haku. They walked away okay, although it got a little tense at points. And we now catch up after the fact. Now, this is where we're starting to see some real changes. Because we would catch up with them, they're doing their thing, their basic missions. And then Kakashi says, I gotta go and, check on something. Enjoy the rest of your day. Now, Naruto and Gaara both get confirmed. Well, mostly Naruto. But Gaara probably knows Konohamaru because he hangs out with Naruto so often. So he's like, hey, you promised you to play Ninja. So did I? That's right, Naruto. I was there for that. Oh, come on, Gaara. and then Sakura obviously also has Sasuke for a date. Gets turned down. It's a ninja playing ninja. That's so twisted. Hey, boss, is she your girlfriend? And now, is Naruto dumb enough here to say what he said before? Yeah, you can tell she's really crazy about me. Like I said, he's a little less obsessed with Sakura because he does have a legit best friend. But yeah, probably. I don't think there'd be any reason he wouldn't say that here because he's kind of an idiot when it comes to the women. So Naruto does say it, and yeah, needless to say, she just bops him on the head. Look at her, I tell you, and then she bops Konohamaru on the head too, and Gaara's just like, oh. Now, I did think it'd be funny if Gaara restrained Sakura with his sand, but I ultimately chose not to do that just because, Gaara probably doesn't really need to restrain Sakura in any real sense. Like, he doesn't feel the need to step in, plus Naruto was kind of being stupid, so he kind of got what he deserved, but unfortunately, Konohamaru does have to open his mouth. He's like, you see the size of her forehead? And she literally chases his ass down. Now, Gaara and Naruto have to go in pursuit to basically save his ass. Granted, Naruto... Why was Naruto running, now that I think about it? Because I remember Naruto and Konohamaru running. Konohamaru outran him and bopped in the Kankuro. Why was Naruto running? He didn't say a damn thing against Sakura at that point. Maybe he's just worried that this kid mouthing off was going to get him hit. Kind of like that Christopher Tires, but now I'm worried that this kid is going to get me hit. Maybe that's what happened. But yeah, Gaara and Naruto both follow in pursuit. Konohamaru bumps into Kankuro. It's like, hey kid, that hurt. You should watch her going, put me down! And then obviously Naruto and Gaara's probably behind Naruto a little bit. It's like, huh. And Naruto's, hey, put him down! It's like, oh, another little annoying brat. This just makes me want to break him in half. I hear a kid like this mouthing off, so you want to break him in half. And to which he hears the voice, Kankuro? And it's like, huh? To which he completely freezes up. Wait, I know that voice. Granted, it would be an older version of it, because he sounded more like this when he was a kid, and that, instead of being a lot more deadpanned when he was an adult. Except now he's probably a bit more... He's got more life to his voice here. He's not as harsh, and I'm going to kill you here. And Kankuro, to which Kankuro lit his butt cheeks just clenched. Tamari's like, Gaara? It's like, Kankuro, Tamari, huh? And to which Gaara then looks at him and realizes nothing's changed that much. Dad's been raising them well. Would you be so kind as to put the Konohamaru down? Yeah. Sorry. And to which Gaara walks up. Naruto just looks at Gaara. Gaara, who are these guys? They're my brother and sister. Wait, these are your siblings? Hey, Gaara, we know you've been in here for a while. How you doing? They're just shocked that Gaara's being so civil and polite. He's even got a smile. Like, I've been really well, thanks. I've found a good home here and good friends. How are you? I got to admit, I have missed seeing you guys. And Tamari is a little less scared because I think she is the oldest of the three. I think, or her and Kankuro aren't twins. That's a good question. I know that Tamari is because Gaara is the same age as Naruto, roughly. And Kankuro and Tamari are the two older siblings. But which one's older? I don't know. Give me a minute here. It's not really important, but if for future what ifs, something important. Okay. She was 15 to 16 in part 1, and Kankuro, I think Kankuro is the older brother, or the oldest of the 3, I think. But I'm gonna figure that out right now. Kankuro. No, 14. Okay, no, she is actually the oldest one. She's the oldest by a year. Okay, so being the older one, probably the most mature of the 3. And was she the least afraid of him? I don't know. Do you think Tamari and Gaara, or Tamari and Kankuro feared Gaara equally? I would say Tamari probably was a little. I mean, we saw her react. She was more worried for everyone's safety than like straight out like scared of him. Like she would interact with him for whatever it's worth. I mean, they would definitely talk with each other to whatever degree, but at the same time, you could make the argument for that with Kankuro too. Mind you, their conversations were not that in depth, so I don't know. They were probably about equally afraid. Just Tamari's a little older and a little more experienced, so she can probably bury any fears she's having. And so she, as Conqueror's, just like, what? This is not the Gaara we knew. Mind you, the Gaara they knew was still just a little kid who just wanted friends. But they were still scared of the Shikaku. So I was like, we're been fine, Gaara. It's good to see you too. Like, she's just trying to, and Gaara can feel the awkwardness. Like, he understands. I see you're, he's sad but happy at the same time. I get it. You're still afraid of me, aren't you? Well, I mean, it's like I would understand based on how father raised me, and even at things that happened after the fact. I wouldn't really expect you to believe I'm something other than what you knew. Now, mind you, they're not afraid of Gaara as the lethal killer that he was, because he didn't become that here. But they are still nervous around, like, he was not allowed to interact with his siblings at all, as far as we know. So they were probably raised to be afraid of him to some degree. But they're just seeing this very calm, soft-spoken individual here who's just their brother and just being friendly and polite. It's like, well, it's good to see you too. And Naruto still being nosy. Hey, what the? Wait, so these are your brother and sister? What's the big deal? What's the big deal trying to beat my friend up here? And, he gets the Konohamaru. It's like, and Kankuro. And Gaara does actually give a slightly harder look. It's like, I'd like to know that as well, Kankuro. You realize, you're aware that that's the grandson of the third Hokage, right? It's like, what? Which means if you had attacked him, that could have started an international incident. But regardless, what are you doing attacking little kids anyway? Just because it was an accident. To which Sasuke's probably sitting in the tree, just listening in on this. And to which then all of a sudden a voice comes out. It's like, I don't actually know this character's dub voice, so I'm just going to make one up. How would he say? How would this character say it? He's right, Kagura. That was a very stupid thing to do. You really need to control that arrogance of yours. Now, as we're being introduced here, the third member of the Sand Team. Now, I had asked if you had any ideas, you folks had any ideas for a third canon Sand Shinobi I could put on there. And I brought up the idea of using Shinki from Boruto. Now, granted, he isn't born until many, many years later, but in theory, I think it would have been one of those rule-bending moments I could have seen working, because he's even said he's actually surpassed Gaara in many ways because he has the magnet release with Iron Sand. And Rasa could have basically molded him into a new version of Gaara, kind of, minus the Shikaku. Although, you give him Shikaku, and that is a completely reamped character. Like, that is just a completely improved upon Gaara right there. Well, maybe not completely, but it's nigh improved Gaara. But no. So I went through the other suggestions people gave. A lot of them weren't that great, in my opinion. Matsuri I didn't like very much as an option. What I did ultimately like, though, because he is a pretty powerful character, too, is the anime character of Shira. I believe it's Shira. He's essentially the Sand's equivalent of Rock Lee, a character who's really not capable of using Genjutsu or Ninjutsu, but is a masterful Taijutsu user. He can still use his chakra molded enough to, like, walk on quicksand, basically, basic chakra manipulation stuff. But he can't but he can't use ninjutsu or genjutsu like Lee. What he does do, though, is he uses a technique that's basically called the Silent Fist. That uses his chakra to basically cut out all the sound from his movements. That makes it near impossible to kind of predict where he's coming. In fact, in the anime, or at least in the fillers in the anime when he shows back up, he goes toe to toe with Fifth Gate Lee because he does have something called, I think it's not breathing art or whatever. It involves drawing in breath to increase his lung capacity like 4 times to enhance his strength, stamina, and chakra output as well. So he was actually going toe to toe with a Fifth Gate Lee, which is impressive. But beyond that, he's not beyond that. But where was I going with this? He's exceptionally powerful. That's what I was trying to say. That's where I was going with saying beyond that. He actually did fight Gaara, like in the anime. And he bypassed the sand shield. He got within his guard. So this actually, I think, is a really good character to put on the team because it's someone who could, in fact, be a challenge for Gaara in the long haul. So, anyway. My name is. I apologize for Conqueror's Extras. That's all right. That's all right. Just don't. I would encourage you not to do it again, Conqueror. Right. Sorry, Gaara. Sorry, Shira. Anyway, and back away. I don't think I got Shira's age. How old is he? Because if he's too old to be on this team, like if he's in his 20s, that might be a little much. Let's see. Shira, Naruto. Excuse me. How old? They don't give an age. Okay, he can be old enough. I can just make his age whenever I want. That's the rules. So, Shira, just as my name is Shira of the desert. Not really the desert, but Shira, insert last name here. I see. So So my father was able to find a new member to fill out that, or not really. He wouldn't say anything about his father. Well, I'm wondering why you are all here. It's like, you didn't get the notification. We're here for the tuning exams, Gaara. Tuning exams? The tuning exams? And Sasuke is like, and the tuning, and it's like, yeah, exactly. And every 6 months, they're built, a tuning exam is held at one of the villages. They send their best and brightest, blah, blah, blah. They explain the tuning exams. And so they bid farewell. It's like, we'll see, I look forward to challenging you, to meeting you in the exams, Gaara. Goodbye. Bye, Tamari, Kaka. Maybe we could get some food later. There's a great ramen stand in this village. Yeah, okay. And so, tuning exams. But Naruto also, talks to Gaara about his siblings as well later on. Sound ninjas obviously see that. They also get the, they also are all tested in some way. Gaara, however, is maybe sitting on a roof at night just looking at the moon, and Naruto just like, hey, Gaara, what are you doing up here? It's late. I'm actually yawning too. That wasn't intentional. He's like, I'm sorry, I guess I couldn't really sleep. You don't sleep that much to begin with. Hey, that's not my choice. Now we do know Gaara does sleep. It's just he can't. My guess is he can't go into like REM sleep or something like that. He can like cat nap or something like that, but he can't REM sleep. Because then Shikaku will eat at your psyche. They never actually explain how Gaara is able to sleep. My guess is he's taking like very short naps just to keep, going. Either way, they're sitting up there. I didn't stop to think I'd ever actually see my siblings again. Not after I fully became a part of this village. Yeah, but at least you have them, and they don't seem that bad. Your brother seemed like a jerk. Well, that's not really his fault. My dad most likely didn't raise him raise the two of them as best he could have, which probably is true. I'm not saying he completely ruined Tamari and Kankuro completely, but because of how he treated Gaara, he most certainly didn't treat them 100% the best. Either way, yeah, I'm more worried about what's coming, Naruto. Something Shikaku's. I can sense him in my head sometimes in the steel. He can sense something's going on. It's like, let me out. I can still hear him. I said, To which Naruto just, yells at, "Hey, stupid Tanuki, shut the hell up in there!" And they kind of have a laugh. Shikaku was probably like, "You little." Mind you, if Naruto's like even got some of the fox shot going, like if he's going rage mode, he could probably honestly just scare the shit out of Shikaku. Just like, what the hell? But yeah, what about? And I mean, what about you? Have you heard anything from him? It's like, you mean the fox? No, I mean I've never really tried. Oh, your seal's different than mine. Maybe it's just harder for you to communicate with him. I suppose. Yeah, he's not. I don't get the impression he doesn't really care about much in there. But so anyway, well, we're just gonna have to kick butt, just like always, right? And so the Tunisians come. Now the whole genjutsu on the wrong floor thing, I don't see that changing very much. Sasuke probably brags, just take out that stupid, ridiculous genjutsu. And Gaara points out, it's like, why would you let us, whatever. And Neji also talks to Sasuke as a kid. What's your name? You first. What? Gaara obviously shows up, stops them. Now, my name is Rock Lee. Please meet my girlfriend. It's like, I wish to challenge you. You are Sasuke. I wish to challenge you right now. And so, I'm fine. I got a little time to kill. Now, two things. Does Lee know about Gaara? And would he rather challenge Gaara over Sasuke? He probably does know of the Sand transferred student. So he probably does know of Gaara, and he's probably heard very good things about it. But Lee's whole idea, or Lee's whole mentality was, Sasuke was from a prestige clan, a genius, labeled a genius. He wanted to challenge that to test his philosophy of being a genius of hard work. So it feels more like he still would challenge Sasuke over Gaara. But does Naruto, who's a little bit more level-headed here, got a little bit more going for him here in terms of mentality, maturity, and not feeling as inadequate against Sasuke, because he is rough. Sasuke's probably still the better hand-to-hand fighter, but Naruto is, if we're using random numbers here, if Sasuke is a hypothetical 10 out of 10, or let's actually use a bigger number for better comparison, let's say 20 out of 20. If he's a 20 out of 20, Naruto's like a 17 out of 20. Naruto is, in terms of raw technique, not as good as Sasuke, but he's practiced a lot with dodging. He's definitely more skilled in terms of feinting, avoidance, and counter-striking. And because he can add his clones into the mix, he is arguably the better in taijutsu because he can overrun the battlefield. So he's not doesn't feel as inadequate next to Sasuke here as he did in the original. But he still also probably gets very annoying. People will stress over Sasuke over him. So the question is, does he say, I get him first, go for it? Does that happen? And Gaara's also there. It's like, Naruto, Naruto. There's really no reason to get to get involved. Besides, it's probably better for us to watch them fight. That way, if you meet him again, you'll have a better idea of how to deal with him. To which Naruto laments. He blatantly fine. And so Sasuke and Lee duke it out. Now, as I point out with Naruto, he's far more improved here thanks to training with Gaara a lot. And, you train to avoid the sand, all that. But Sasuke, because Naruto is stronger in hand-to-hand combat, is also stronger because he's trained with Naruto and actually gotten his butt kicked a couple times. Maybe not his butt kicked, but anytime in sparring that Naruto has been allowed to use clones, he has overwhelmed Sasuke. So, and Sasuke actually does respect Naruto in terms of his actual abilities. I think there is a lot more respect going on here because Naruto's improved as much as he has. Mind you, he still would have been dead last on the academic scores, or at least almost dead last. Shikamaru's arguably was worse. They even say that. It's it was almost as bad, if not worse. But Sasuke is a little improved here. So he's still going to get his ass kicked by Rock Lee. There's no doubt about that in my mind. But his physical abilities are a little bit more amped. He can dodge a bit more effectively. And I can even see him at one point when Lee throws a kick. He's actually able to block and then maybe deliver a straight kick to him, and put him down. Not put him down, but just Lee, I said, he actually got a hit in on me. Impressive indeed. All right then. And then obviously, Primary Lotus, Lee, that's enough. You brought this on yourself, Lee. And then, hey, everybody, what's shaking? How's the anime put it? Hey, everybody, what's shaking? Life treating you good? Kakashi, I've got a sexy learning disability. What do I call it? Sexlexia. Because I do feel like that is it's Kakashi is not Kif, obviously, but my guy is a little Zap Brannigan. We have failed to uphold Konoha's law, but I did make it with a hot ninja babe. Isn't that what isn't that the question that man once asked when he looked upon the leaf? Kakashi, I'm asking you a question. I'm digressing so hard. So this is Kakashi's team. The rare so you're Kakashi's Genin team, the rare 4-man team I've heard about. I've heard a lot about you. Your reputations are preceding you quite a little bit there. And so, what? Is this guy's might be as strong or stronger than Kakashi Sensei? Which at the time, yeah, part 1 guy most likely was stronger than Kakashi because Kakashi had gotten lazy. By Shippuden? I mean, because Guy can always use the 8 gates if he needs to, he's arguably stronger than Kakashi at all times. The only time you can honestly say that Kakashi probably did ultimately surpass him is when he did gain access to DMS Susanoo and just had the DMS temporarily. That was probably the only time Kakashi had truly, if we're maxing them out, surpassed Guy. But Guy, because he has access to the 8 gates at all times, if we're maxing both of these guys out, unless Kakashi hits him with a Kamui, Guy is technically the stronger of the two of them. But that's near here or there. By the way, just a fun question. Do you think Kakashi should have been allowed to keep the DMS? Like somehow with Obito permeating his chakra in him, like maybe he would have been able to turn his Sharingans off finally, and therefore had access to the DMS and all that. I don't know, just food for thought. Sorry. And then you steal, I don't know, someone's, I don't know. See, here's the thing. I don't know if there was a Sharingan available for Obito to gain the Mangekyo Sharingan. This is a completely side tangent I'm going on here, but it's a question I'm kind of interested in at the moment. Because we know that the Eyes of Relatives work better, but they're not necessarily... It's stated that they work the best, but it's not an inherent... It's not an absolute. But we only ever see Eternal Mangekyos on Madara and Sasuke, both of whom use their brother's eyes. So I don't know. I would like to think it's possible you could still get an EMS without needing an immediate relative, like a brother or sister or something like that. But I don't know. Just food for thought. Anyway, they would go into the exam room. Naruto, I'm going to beat every last one of you. Believe it! And Gaara's just like, and, Sam's like, what's with that kid? And you quiet down. You want to get us in trouble? Hinata's like, hello, Naruto. I was like, oh, hi, Hinata. And, grabs on the Gaara, who luckily is like, oh, hello, it's good to see you. Oh, it's good to see you too, Gaara. Oh, I can tell you've gotten so much stronger. Oh, and look at your hair. And she's just flirting with them. She's like, and Tamari's probably looking on for engaged. She's like, my brother's got it in with the ladies? What the hell is going on here? Anyway, Sound obviously comes in, does the whole thing with Kabuto. Honestly, nothing about the written exam would change here, Naruto. There's nothing... The only drastic changes you would ever see with the written exam is almost certainly with Naruto is drastically altered. Not when someone is added to the team or whatever. And Naruto just wouldn't have an ability here to help him. So they would go. It's the Force of Death. Naruto gets the cut on his cheek from Anko. They get their scroll. But a key difference here is that while Sasuke was the one holding the scroll the first time, here Gaara is the one who gets to hold the scroll. They even said that Gaara, you're gonna be the one to hold the scroll. Your Saiyan defense is gonna be vital in this. Because no one should be able to get through that, right? And so they go into the forest. Now Naruto obviously goes to take a leak, but because Gaara's got very good senses, his Saiyan shoots. Oh, what the hell? It's like, man, And Naruto's just like, he scared the piss out of me, literally. And he's just got this guy by the leg, just like, I sensed something was off. So you were trying to sneak up on Naruto. Is that right? Put me down, you freak! What the hell? And so, let's see here. Does he have a scroll? I'm not telling you anything. Bonk, knock him out. They look. Now, we don't know which one of those three had the scroll on him. I always say, why not let him have the scroll? Give him a scroll early. So, and they did have the opposite scroll they did, so they should be good now. But at this point, because he didn't try to disguise himself as Naruto, there's not a reason for the whole, passcode scenario. Instead, though, Naruto does get separated from the group, from the giant gust of wind, just, Naruto! And Gaara just, uses his sand, kind of like shields, ugh, my. And then Naruto shows back up, but Gaara, knowing Naruto for so long, can tell something's off with it. He can sense that this is not Naruto, so he just attacks him with the sand. What are you doing? He's like, this isn't Naruto. I've known Naruto all my life, pretty much all my life, and I can tell his mannerisms are off. His chakra feels different, darker. It's like, so who are you? My, you really are quite the troublesome one, aren't you, Gaara? But that's all right. That's all right. I was hoping you would be. I have plans for you, after all. It's like, who are you? And say, I'm just a ninja. You want my scroll? You'll have to come and get it. Fine. You want to fight? And by the way, Naruto would deal with the snake, no problem. But more importantly, what's going on here? You want to fight? Let's go. It's like, fine, let us fight with our lives on the line. Now, Sasuke and Sakura still get hit with the technique. I don't know if it was a genjutsu. They never actually explained if that was just straight killing intent or it was like a genjutsu of some kind. I think it was just straight killing intent. Now, Gaara, though, was still hit with it, and it's far more powerful than Zabuza's. He's a lot more functioning than them. He's still like, whoa, that's like, whoa. He's nervous, but he's not like standing still. Like, I see. Seems your tenant has given you quite the resistance to my killing intent. Tenant? Wait, it's like, tell me, Gaara, you didn't think I didn't know about your little friend inside of you, did you? After all, it's so vital that we know what to do with it. Due to these powers we have. Shikaku. And then to which Gaara basically just sends sand right up. He's creating more and more sand, like, the amount of sand he's creating is going to be problematic. It's like, sand shuriken! Just starts blasting the tree line. Just boom, 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 boom. But Orochimaru is, it's just, oh god, funny, but amusing, but you're going to have to do better than that. Striking Shadow Snake! Sand just comes, takes the snake's head off. That's sand. That's right. Rasa said his sand protects him automatically. Still, you're going to have to do better than that. Sand, and which Gaara actually moves his hands, just sand blade. All of a sudden, the sand condenses to a certain degree, creates like this giant, almost like cleaver blade that comes up. And he's just attacking him in air with the sand he can. But Orochimaru said, water style, water torrent. By the way, someone did say that there's a difference between mud and like wet sand. That is true. That actual mud has got more clay bits, silt, all that. Wet sand is not actually mud, but it would water would certainly hinder sand to move in the same way. And to which Gaara actually just, what? He hardened his sand so the water couldn't soak through. Interesting. I'm not letting you get hurt him. And so the fight ends. The fight ends up reaching the tree area they're in. Gaara is starting to tire out. Like, he only has so much. Like, as much as he has a large amount of chakra, it's only so much. But then all of a sudden Orochimaru comes in. Sasuke eventually says, Gaara, just give him the scroll. It's like, Sasuke, what? Very nice, yes, good. Give the predator a smaller prey so you can run away. Very smart, very sensible. To which Naruto shows up after hearing that. What are you talking about, Sasuke? We can't give him the scroll. Just shut up and stay out of this. It's like, he's freaked out. What the hell? Gaara, You all right? Tired, but I'm okay. This guy, though, he's not going to leave us alone even if we did give him the scroll. It's like, what? That's right. Of course, to be honest, I wasn't really here for you to begin with, Gaara, but this has been a lot of fun. No, I'm here for something bigger. And, he goes after them. Naruto, rushes in. Great breakthrough! Summons the snake. Naruto, though, just goes into fox mode as he does originally. Just, Gaara, right! And then Gaara just summons the spear, just kind of spears the snake through the head. And so, the nine-tailed fox brat has lived, and he found the Shikaku Jinchuriki as well. Interesting. And so Naruto and Gaara kind of like square up next to each other. It's like, you all right, Gaara? Yeah. How much longer do you think you can go? I can keep going a bit longer. All right, then let's do this. Shadow Clone Jutsu! The clones are rushing in. And now, Orochimaru is actually a little on the back foot. Not like he's going to lose or anything, but Naruto with Kyuubi enhanced, like he's moving fast enough that even Orochimaru has to at least put some effort in. Like, plugs out some kunais. He's gotten fast. He's fast, and his strikes are powerful. But it's nothing I can't handle. Nothing I can't handle. And then all of a sudden he sees that here's that like the sand kind of solidified. Ninja art sand senbon, or probably more sand needle, as the sand lingering in the air is turned into just like hundreds of needles. Naruto clones get out of the way. And he just starts laughing. Impressive indeed. Just crawls out of it. I must admit that is quite. You two work quite well together indeed. Fox and a Tanuki. Who would have thought? Unfortunately, like I said, you don't interest me right now. He just does again, even more killing intent. Maybe even puts a little genjutsu spin on it. Fortunately, they're like Naruto's chakra's kind of like going to prevent that, but Gaara kind of gets caught. Like, can't move. Let me out! Let me out! Let me kill him! Come on! It's like, no! It's like, what's wrong, Gaara? What's wrong, Gaara? Hear the voices of chaos ringing in your head. God, no! I won't let you out! And Naruto's like, as for you, and just instead of like using the 5-prong seal, Naruto, because there's multiple Narutos, he's just not taking the chance. Fire style, and fire style. I'm just making a jutsu up here. I can see it's like, striking shadow snake. Oh, uses striking shadow snake to take a couple Narutos out, and then fire style. The serpent stream flame as the snake's mouth is open and fire just comes out of him. He's kind of using it like a flyer whip. Just Naruto gets burned before it just gets boom put back into the into the wall, or the tree, if you will, the wall. So now then, what else? Now then, if that's all you can really do. I have more important things to do. And then Sasuke finally snaps out of it. No! And then, takes on Orochimaru. I think he hurts him a little bit here because he's a little worn out from fighting Naruto and Gaara, but ultimately he's, fine. By the way, how the hell nothing was actually set on fire from that fire dragon jutsu Sasuke did? I'll never know. But, because seriously, that being said, I think he did kind of cut the tree in half. I don't know. Anyway, Gaara is able to finally snap out because Shikaku's trying to influence him, but so his chakra's kind of eking in and snaps him out of the genjutsu. But it's too late as they see, and it's like, Sasuke! It's like, Sasuke will come seeking me for power. Until then, I'll bid you adieu. Farewell, Naruto, and use the Gaara. Or how would he go? He'd probably say, farewell, Gaara. I'll be seeing you soon. And as well as you, Naruto, you are interesting to say the least. And just we gotta get him to the tower. Let's go. And so, luckily, they are able to get to the tower pretty early. And Sasuke is obviously wakes up, fine. They've got a seal on him. I think he would be fine. Like, again, I don't know how long he was actually in the hospital for. They imply it might have been a little while, but I imagine how long was Sasuke in the hospital? That that always, because I always say Sasuke probably should be able to participate at this point. Sasuke, how long was Sasuke? And this is where we're ending, by the way, because I gotta actually redo the pairings on that. It's one of the rare scenarios because we have unknown ninja. Yeah, now granted, Shinra is filling the Gaara spot, but because Gaara's in there, that's a complete extra member. So I will have to actually do some randomizers for that. How long was Sasuke? Long was. God damn it! Come on, Sasuke in the hospital. Hospital. It's not spelled out before. After. Okay, hospital for. According to information, after the events of the Chunin exams were Kabuto attempt to assassinate, Sasuke was hospitalized for at least 2. Okay, so he's in the hospital. I've been doing this wrong. He's been in the hospital for 2 whole weeks. Now, granted, that is a combination of his body was totally worn out too, because he was running on empty, and the curse seal. I would like to put him in there, but he can't participate. This is something I've actually never. Now that I've actually reading seeing this, and he was in the hospital for a coma for a month. So yeah, I mean, he's in better shape here than he was in the original. I got that at least, but plus. They might be able to do some preemptive stuff while the curse mark is still taking hold. But then again, they might... Jiraiya is in the village at this point. Maybe he could do something, but they didn't know he was in the village. The third didn't know he was in the village at this point. So, I didn't think about this. Normally, I would have just had Sasuke be a part of it, but... could they do anything preemptively? You know what? Okay, you know what? Yes, I think Sasuke will be allowed to participate because it's 5 whole days or something until the end of the exams. Something like that. But also, they'll keep an eye on the curse mark. And Sasuke will train with the curse mark for what it's worth, or train, and the curse mark might flare up once or twice, but he'll keep it in check. Because we know he could still function. The curse mark was still just flaring up. That's why they put the seal on him. So, okay, you know what? Yes, he should still be allowed to participate here. They won't put the seal on him yet. And probably because he does, he demands, no, I can handle it. I promise I can handle it. Very well. We'll let the exams happen. But if something were to happen, if the curse mark flares up or whatever, we're going to take action. And so, yeah, they'll put the seal around it afterwards. All right, I think we're good now. Now, granted, does that mean Sasuke is going to win in the the preliminaries? No freaking idea right now. I have no idea who's going to be paired up against yet. I got to write that out. Because there's a good chunk of them he could beat. He can probably beat most of his Konoha counter. Well, actually, that's a good question. That's an entirely other video. If we relook at the preliminaries and pair everyone up with everyone else, who's got the best majority of wins there? Naruto probably. Honestly, he probably doesn't beat Naruto at this point. Naruto is just better at this. He's not, again, better hand-to-hand fighter, but Naruto's got the stamina, chakra reserves, shadow clones, and he's a lot cleverer on his feet. He's also not beating Gaara right now. He won't beat Lee because he can use fire jutsu, maybe. I don't know. That's a different video entirely. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.